Hello Anurag, Chiranjan. We have started array. Hmm? Some of the concepts we have already learned, like how array is a secondary data type, what is the notation of an array, what is an index of an array. So each element of an array has got some index, and indexing starts from the zero, right? I gave you some examples, I think so. Like each flat number in an apartment has got some number, serial number. So that we call it as an index. So using index, we can access any array element. We have seen how each element of an array can be assigned, at the same time how a complete array, full array can be initialized, right? That we have seen. Today we will be studying various operations, various possible operations on pointers. So for some time, we will keep aside the array chapter. We will study various possible operations on pointers because pointer is a data type. And after that, we will again shift our focus to an array because while handling an array in C, we need pointers, and pointers can be effectively used when we manipulate an array. Manipulating an array means uh, accessing elements of an array or modifying elements of an array, deleting elements of an array. Okay? So that everything can be done using pointer. Pointer is actually very useful, particularly when you send an array to the function. But that whole we will discuss with the aid of examples, programming examples, right? What is the base address of an array? That is, I told you, one of the important concept of array chapter. We'll pass array to the function. We will see how we can pass, and at the end we will see two-dimensional array or multi-dimensional array. Array notation, we have seen that whatever you write inside a pair of square brackets, that is the size of an array, right? This slide we have not seen in the past. So, but we have written the program. I remember very well. We have written the program uh, to find, I think, positive numbers and negative numbers and number of zeros in an array. Perhaps that program we wrote last time. Now, this is just a representation of an array in the memory. So, when you declare an array at the right hand side on the slide in front of you, there is a memory, okay, logical diagram of a memory. So, it has got three parts. The topmost part is called the stack. The middle portion is called heap, and the bottommost portion is called static or global memory area. These are logical partitions of a data segment. Data segment is a portion of a RAM given exclusively for the execution of C program. So RAM, I have explained you, that is a main memory. So a small portion of that in the form of data segment is given to the our program. Now, whichever variables you declare in main function or in your program, these variables are given memory from the data segment. So depending upon type of variables, modifier of the variables, its location of declaration, okay. So variety of factors are there on which basis the variable will be allocated memory. So far, whatever variables we have declared inside main function or any other function, user-defined function that we have seen that. So all these variables are given memory from the topmost part of data segment, that is a stack, right? So when you declare an array, suppose here array declaration is int num5. So uh, there is the continuous memory for 5 elements. So you can see uh, there is a small sequence of bytes in the data segment which represents an array, and that is enlarged, that is magnified on the left hand side of the slide in front of you, right? So this num on the leftmost side, it indicates the name of that whole array, right? So what is the biggest advantage? I told you last time, a single variable represents all elements. So num is the name of an array, and name of each element is based on index of an array. So num0 is name of that first element. Num1 is name of the second element. Num2 is name of third element, and so on. So name of or index of last element is 4. So its notation will be num of 4. How it is read? Num of 0, num of 1, num of 2, num of 3, and num of 4. Right? And you can see, I have told you that array elements are stored at a contiguous memory locations. So address of first element, suppose, this is assumption. Uh, uh, See, memory is given by the operating system. So if you run particular program on your machine, address system will be different. Okay. It doesn't mean that if you run the program, you will get address as first element of an address of array having size 5, you will get addresses 2568. No, this is just a for understanding purpose only. So address of the first element of an array, if it is 2568, then address of the next element will be 2568 plus 4, that is 2572. The next element it will be 2576, and so on, right? So that addresses actually tell you that elements of an array are stored in contiguous memory locations inside the stack, right? Fine. This array assignment we have seen. I didn't show you these slides. I directly wrote programs and explained you while writing programs and execution of the program. So I wanted to actually exhibit by demonstration of a live program. So I didn't show you these slides. So this is just a revision of what we have learned in the past sessions. So if int num5 is a declaration of an array, then array elements can be assigned. This is assignment. So 45 if you want to assign to the first element of an array, then you have to write num of 0 is equal to 45, and so on. So 14 is placed at the number 2 position, 96 as number 3 position, 71 as number 4 position, and 10 as number 5 position. So 10 will be last element of an array. I told you the indexing of an array start from 0, and last index of last element will be array size minus 1. So num4. So you cannot write num5, num6, num7, because these are the locations which do not exist in the computer memory, because that much memory has been given for your array, right? So that will be kind of a trespassing. Okay. If you do not own particular property, you cannot go there and stay, right? So that will be illegal, that is invalid. Huh? Then how does the array initialization can be done? Array, there are two ways. Second way I didn't show while writing program, but array initialization can be done as int num of 5, and whichever elements you want to initialize or store in an array, enclose all these in a pair of curly braces. Okay, very important. Not square brackets, not round brackets, but curly braces. Huh? Now, as far as if you want to, size of an array must be given while declaration of variable. But in the second declaration here, while initializing an array, this is not mandatory. So if you want to initialize an array, then you can omit size of an array, right? Because compiler knows on the basis of elements on the right hand side, compiler knows that you want array for 5 elements. So here only it gives you waiver. It is not mandatory. It is not compulsory, right? So array can be initialized like in the second example given in this slide. Huh? So today we will see arithmetic operations, okay, which are valid and which are invalid. Here I will read them, explain them, and we will go directly for writing a program. So what are valid operations? Why actually we are examining operations on pointer? Because integer is a data type. We have made some arithmetic operations on integer. We have made arithmetic operations on floating point number. We have made arithmetic operations on character constant. So all these data types we have performed some operations, right? So next in this series is a pointer data type. So which are valid arithmetic operations on pointer? This is a subject of our interest right now. It is necessary because it will help you throughout the syllabus. So we should understand that. What is meaning of arithmetic operations on pointer, which are valid, which are not valid, right? Or invalid. Now, which are valid operations? You can add a constant to the pointer. This is absolutely valid. Subtracting a constant from the pointer. This is also valid. You can compare two pointers. This is also valid. And subtracting one pointer from another pointer. This is also valid. Don't forget that when I say pointer, I mean an address of another variable. Okay, address of another variable. And which are invalid operations on pointers, right? So multiplication of two pointers it is invalid. Why it is invalid? I will tell you. You cannot divide two pointers, so multiplication is not allowed, division is not allowed. At the same time, addition of two pointers is not allowed. Subtraction of two pointers is valid, but addition of two pointers is not allowed. It is invalid. It is illegal. So compiler will give you an error. And adding one pointer to another pointer. This is also no, addition of two pointers is same as adding one pointer to another. I wanted to write something that fourth statement is bit wrong. Its meaning is same as the third statement. Okay, let me recall if I have made some mistake while designing the PPT, right? So we will write a few programs. I hope you remember because this is our seventh chapter, right? We have reached in the seventh chapter of C language. So, what name I can give? Uh, operations on pointers. Operations on pointers, right? Now, suppose I declare a variable in star ptr, right? Mm, Suppose I declare some variable as x. If I write ptr is equal to ampersand x, so here ptr will point to the memory location of x. So ptr will contain an address of x. So if you try to print address of x percent u, I told you it is we use the percent u as an unsigned integer, and you can write ampersand x or ptr, both are same, right? Now if I run this code, it will print as 64 right? So this is the address of x. Now if I write ptr is equal to ptr plus suppose 2, suppose 1, what is this? Addition of a constant to the pointer, right? The first valid operation. What are those? Addition of pointer, right? So we are adding 1 to the pointer. Now ptr is an address. ptr is an address. So can we add some constant to the an address? Yes, it is valid. So what we will do, we will add 1. I'll write. I will not write address of x now. I will write contents of ptr. There is a reason for that. Why I didn't write address of x? There is a reason. I will tell you what is that. So what is this? Address of x is 64 or 22264, right? When you add 1 to this, it doesn't become 642265. It becomes 642268, right? What does it mean? There is a memory. Each memory cell has got some address. So from that memory, one particular memory, okay, has got address as 642264. Okay. Now that address belongs to variable x. That address we have stored in pointer variable ptr. So ptr points to x. Now when I add 1 to the the pointer will be incremented not by 1 byte but 4 bytes. Why? Only because it is integer pointer. So it will be that that pointer will start pointing on the basis of how many what constant you have added. For example, suppose I write 2. So what has happened? 64. It doesn't 65 or 66. It becomes directly 64 plus 4, that is 68. 68 plus 4, that is 72. Why? Because it is integer pointer, right? So address will be incremented by 4 bytes. Why 4 bytes? Only because it is integer pointer, and integer constant takes 4 bytes of memory. That is the reason it is incremented by 4 bytes, right? Now this is valid, huh? This is also valid. Hmm? So see that I have not written contents of X here. Why? Because the moment you subtract or add some constant, PTR no longer now points to X, where your memory location of X. It will not point because its address, it contains by a chain, no? So it is pointing somewhere else now. It nowhere points now X. Right? And that's why I have not written address, because address of X we are not changing. We are changing contents of PTR. So PTR will start pointing to somewhere else. Right? This is very important. Okay? Don't get confused. So what happens now? That memory location of X is fixed. Right? 64 triple to 64. But now we are subtracting 2. So it will be subtract by 8 bytes. Okay, 64 minus 8. That will be 56. Right? If I write PTR minus 5. Right? And run the code. It will print 64 minus 20. So that will be 44. Very important. Hmm? So you can add addition of constant to the pointer. It is valid. Subtraction of the constant from the pointer. This is also valid. Hmm? Now, what is one more valid operation? What was that? You can compare two pointers. That is also valid. So we'll see. Okay. So for that, we have to declare some variable like int star tr1. I will declare variable like suppose y equal to y equal to suppose 10. Hmm? I will store ptr1 is equal to ampersand y. So ptr1 will point to y. Right? I'll remove this. Now why all these things to be done? Wait for a while. Okay. Well, let's first understand the basics. I write printf contents of ptr percent u slash n. I'll write here ptr, right? So print contents of ptr1, right? And then I'll write printf if ptr1 is less than ptr2, no, ptr suppose, printf, I will write some text. Okay, message one suppose. Okay, we want to just check whether we can compare two pointers, right? Printf message two, right? So whether we can compare two pointers, yes, it is possible. Hmm? So contents of PTR are 64 triple two 60. Contents of PTR1 is 64 triple two 56. Right? So message one is printed. Why? Because PTR1 is less than PTR. This is less than PTR. Right? 64 triple two 56 is less than 64 triple two 60. So it is it can be two pointers can be compared, provided both are integer pointers. Okay, you cannot compare any pointer. Okay, you cannot compare one film star along with one cricketer. Okay, both are different. So same, if you want to compare two pointers, then these should be both integers. But in actually in programming, this doesn't arise. Rather, we do not compare pointers like this. Okay, that I will come to that part. Use of these operations uh, in regards to an array. Okay, so we perform all these operations when we deal along with an array, not without array. We usually do not do this. This is only for just explanation purpose. That's it. So suppose I write here ptr is equal to x and ptr1 is also equal to suppose x. So there are two pointers. What do you mean by two pointers pointing to the same memory location? Address of x has been stored in PTR and address of x has been stored also in PTR1, 2. So two pointers are there pointing to one single memory location. There is no problem, right? Now, in this case, if I try to compare this, right? I will compare like this. If PTR1 is equal to PTR2, message 1, right? So what will happen? It is valid. There is no problem. Message 1. So what do you mean? Both pointers are same because address of x is 642256. Address of y is address of sorry and the same address stored in PTR1. So PTR and PTR1 point to same memory location. This is required many times, right? So forget about why this is required and all these things. Okay. So comparison of two pointers is valid. And third is subtraction of a pointer from another pointer, provided both point to same array. Basically, this is also provided both point to same array, right? So usually we perform these operations when uh, it is pointing to pointers are pointing to an array. Okay, so for that purpose we will rewrite this program. Let me declare one variable int number. Suppose I will initialize this 11, 22, 33, 44, 55, 66, 77. Here we don't need to write size of an array here, as I told you before, because we are initializing that array. Huh? Now, how we printed an array last time? I write for I equals 0, I less than or equal to, what is the size of array? 3 and 4, 7. Okay, so less than or equal to 6 because index of last element is 6 and I plus plus. If I write printf %d %5d and I write number of I. So this way we can print, rather not printing, we are able to access all elements of an array. So it is printed, right? Can we use make use of these pointers in C, arithmetic operations pointers in C? Yes, here we can use that. Okay, how I can do that? I will write, I will declare some variable, suppose int star ptr. I'll write ptr is equal to ampersand number of I. So what did we do? We are storing address of this element in the pointer variable ptr. Why ptr is integer pointer? Because this array is integers. Array is of integer. It is an integer array. So each element of that an array is integer, right? So these are the first 4 bytes. So we are storing an address of 11. 11 is the first element of an array, which has got index as 0. So address of this num of I, address of num of 0, we are storing in ptr. So now there will be an array and address of first element we are storing in pointer ptr. Now let's see how we can do it. Hmm? If I write, so here it helps. Suppose I write ptr is equal to ptr plus 4, right? And if I write printf saying p and I write star ptr, try to understand this carefully. So if I run this code, what happened? There should not be any problem. ptr is equal to ampersand number, not I, it is 0. Sorry, huh? It should be 0. I was garbage. My program didn't execute and got hanged only because I had written n number of I, n number of I. I is not there. Here, I contains garbage value. We have not initialized it, right? So if I run this code, 55. Why 55 it has printed? It has printed 55 because PTR was pointing to 11, right? Suppose this address, let's print the address of that. Printf address of, I'll write contents of PTR percent u slash n, right? I'll write PTR. And again, I'll the print contents here. First execute the program, right? So it is that 642240, right? And what is this? This is once we add a 4 to this. When you add 4 to this, okay, how many bytes the pointer will be incremented? There is a 40 and that 642240 plus 4 means that means 16. So 40 plus 16, that will be 4642256. And what is the value at that address? This is 45, 55, right? So there is a PTR here pointing this location plus 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And that star PTR we are pointing. So PTR is pointing to memory location 55 when this statement is executed. And when you take star of that, what is star of that? Value at that address. So that 55 will be printed. How we can use it intelligently? Suppose I write, if I declare a variable as int I, right? And if I write for I equals 1, I less than or equal to 5, I plus plus, right? I'll write printf percent t was yd, and I'll write star ptr, right? In very next statement, I will write ptr is equal to ptr plus 1, right? So it will access whole array. We're not using index, but we are using pointers. Print whole array 11, 22, 33, 44, and 55. Well, okay, it prints only 5 because we are we're running the loop only for 5 times. Suppose I write 7, it will print 77. Okay, how does it work? When when control goes inside the loop, PTR is pointing to 11. Star of that will be 11 itself. Okay. When PTR is pointing to 11, that means address of 11 has been stored in PTR. Now, when I write PTR is equal to PTR plus 1, so this is addition of a constant to the pointer. PTR is equal to PTR plus 1. PTR1 will be incremented by how many bytes? 4 bytes. So, and again, the control goes inside, and star of that PTR will be 22. Why? Because PTR is now, when this statement is executed, it starts pointing to the next element. So using pointer, you can access whole array, complete array. That is how the pointers help you accessing array elements. Hmm? Now, we were discussing this basically, subtraction of pointer from another pointer, provided both point to the same array. So if I declare one variable, one pointer variable, as suppose ptr1, right? If I am storing address of, suppose address of number of 1, right? If I write int star ptr2, right? And ptr2, I will store the address of number of, suppose 4. What is the meaning of this? PTR1 is pointing to this memory location. This is 1. This is 0. This is 1. So PTR1 will point to 22. This is 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So PTR2 will point 55. PTR1 will point 22. Right? So if I write printf percent %t, if I write PTR2 minus PTR1. The question is what will be printed. Big question is what will be printed. Right? Let's run this code. Then we can explore that. What is printed? 3. Why 3 is printed? Because now it will not subtract just addresses. It will give you number of elements by which two pointers are apart. So one pointer is at 55, another pointer is at 22. Okay, so for how many elements? Three elements. Okay, by 3 elements. This is 1, 2, and 3. So address of this minus address of this will give you number of elements in between these two. So this is about subtraction of one pointer from another pointer. All these concepts are going to be useful. Okay? How? I will take care of that. You please try to understand the meaning of that. If you don't, ask me question. Huh? So we have seen almost all addition of constant to the pointer, subtraction of constant from the pointer, We have done subtraction pointer from one another pointer, right? So subtraction we have done. We can here as well write that, right? But I can write if ptr1 is greater than or equal to ptr2, right? Printf message 1 else. Do you need else here? In fact, no. Printf message 2. Right? What we are checking here, whether two pointers can be compared. If I run this, message 2 is printed. What does it mean? PTR1 is not greater than PTR2. That means PTR2 is greater than PTR1. Yes, obviously, because in the PTR1 we are storing address of second element, whereas PTR2 contains address of fifth element, right? Fifth element. Index having 4. Fifth element will be having index as 4. तो इसका एड्रेस तो कम ही होगा ना, क्योंकि एड्रेस तो बढ़ता जाता है और इसका एड्रेस ज्यादा होगा इससे. So we can, that is reason subtraction of a pointer. We have subtraction of the. Yes. Next operation is comparison. Yes, 4 are there. I was thinking the same thing. Comparison of 2 pointer. Here I made a mistake. Of constant from the pointer. This is not here. Extremely sorry. This is here. Right? So this is how which arithmetic operations are possible. Now which are invalid? Which are invalid? What are those? Addition of 2 pointers. Okay. This is not allowed. Subtraction of 2 pointers valid. But addition of 2 pointers not valid. So if I write printf %d, and if I write ptr1 plus ptr2, ptr2 minus ptr1, we have done that, everything. It will give you error, right? Invalid operands to binary plus int star